It never really panned out for the Ducks. A really rough week in college sports for Oregon, if you will. And we're going to talk about college basketball as UC Irvine puts the hurt on Oregon with a score of 69-56. This game really got out of hand for a long time. Irvine was up at one point by 27 points. It was a tough game for Oregon, and I believe that might hurt them in the rankings moving forward. I know it's early in the season, but Oregon is a team with a lot of question marks after this one, Steve. Welcome in to Slasher U. I'm your host, Christian Rao, here with my co-host, Steve Feck. We are going to break down this game. It was honestly a shock, if you will, but 4 years in the making, UC Irvine gets their revenge after being eliminated in the NCAA tournament by the Ducks, and here we are with a 69-56 finish, Steve. Pretty interesting game. First, before you dig into your thoughts on this one, I have to give one thought. The court on Oregon is disgusting. That is the worst looking court. I mean, it's so hard to watch basketball with this like different colors and textures. I mean, I get it. You're trying, and you always have to be different in Oregon, and that's cool. And some people like that, but as a fan who only watches a certain amount of Oregon games at home, it's rough. It's rough to watch, and I feel like I'm in the majority on this one. I feel more people hate it than like it.
Oh yeah, it's we could do a whole show.
It's just not good. It's just not good.
Yeah, I mean it's cliche to say it's not a good look. Literally, it's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
Yeah, it's like they always warn if people like if strobe lights are flashing, some people with certain conditions can't have that. If you're a real fan of basketball, you can't sit and watch and focus and watch the game there.
It was
because
tough.
That flashing is coming. Yeah.
It was tough. It was like there's this dark and light. Regardless, don't want to get too much into the court. Let's talk about this game. Oregon's a team in the preseason. You watch the media days of the Pac-12. You got excited from this team, and I think it's a team to still be excited about. But we just found a lot of question marks on this squad. This was a squad that only led at one point by 1. That was their largest lead. And they trailed against UC Irvine by 27 at one point. They get it back a little bit, lose by 13. A lot of question marks with this Ducks team, Steve.
Yeah, and I think the coaching staff felt that there would be some learning curves they'd have to go through in order before they would start to gel maybe as we go into Pac-12 play. They weren't just the Irvine anteaters; they were the duck eaters. I mean, it was never a contest, and those are the kind of games you don't want to have early. If you lose, and it's a competitive game, and you're in it, it still hurts.
Yeah,
but okay, all right. Well, it's a learning experience. Let's get back on, in practice, work on a couple of things. Oregon's got to figure it out quick because I think they're a team that's going to be feeding off of competence. A game like this is going to really set that back. And who knew? I mean, we research all of the teams, but we didn't do really a deep dive, on UC Irvine, but if they're taking Oregon to task the way that they did, okay, is this a team that we need to look at that's going to get that automatic tournament bid perhaps, and then make some noise in the NCAAs? I mean, I'm going to have to go back and do some digging about this team because I certainly didn't see this coming.
Yeah, Dana Altman was quoted after the game saying they got beat in every facet of the game. Hustle, toughness, a number of our practices resembled that, and I was fearful that at some point in time that might come. So this seems like there might be a core issue with this Oregon team, maybe some issues that they saw in practicing and didn't happen. I mean, he called this team straight out saying, hey, look, you practice as you play, and you aren't even doing that in the practice. You got to step up your intensity, and maybe this happens. Maybe this is the wake-up call that a team like Oregon needs. But when I saw that quote, I really was questioning, okay, this might be deeper than just a 20-point loss to a team that was looking for revenge from years ago. Because that was probably hanging up on the wall somewhere about this squad before this game started. Hey, they knocked this out at the NCAA tournament 4 years ago. Regardless, this seems like this is a bigger issue, and it's a bigger issue that Oregon's going to need to get figured out because they have some tough games coming up soon. Yeah, they play Montana State on Tuesday, but come Sunday, they got to face Houston, and that is a tough team that you can't have any issues with. If you slow down with your toughness or intensity, they're going to run all over you. And you think a 27-point lead was bad against UC Irvine, Houston will take control of that very quick, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous about the Montana State game. I didn't get to watch the whole game against Long Beach, but a lot of people have a lot of high hopes for Long Beach, and Montana State was blowing them out of the gym. They were up by 15. They were up by 20 at one point. They were up by 15 in the first half. Montana State, Big Sky, not necessarily a basketball power, but if they're beating a team like Long Beach and now they're going to come in and play Oregon, I mean, Oregon doesn't have a lot of time to figure it out, because if they have another loss like this, like you said, I think it is indicative of problems in that program, not with the coaching but just the players themselves aren't gelling together, and there needs to be some mixing and matching, in that rotation there out of Oregon. But maybe there's more challenges there than certainly I thought. I mean, I walked away from the Pac-12 media day almost ready to crown Oregon the Pac-12 championship. I mean, that's how excited I got listening to those players talk and the way they were talking about, and they were saying they had to be tough. They had to work harder than everybody else they play every day. And that to not have it happen in practice and not have it happen in a game like against the Anteaters, I don't know. That maybe I'm a little bit nervous here.
Yeah, interesting. If you're an Oregon fan or you follow the Ducks or you just want to chime in, let us know in the comments what you think about that quote by Dana Altman there, and then your thoughts on Oregon moving forward for the rest of the month. Do you see them still as, again, we understand that we know it's early in the season, but do you see them as still a potential candidate to be a front runner in the Pac-12? Let us know in the comments below.